Women across the US are now saying that they're considering maybe not starting families, even if they've been thinking about it, thanks to Donald Trump winning. They're now worried about their potential health. They're worried about reproductive care and gender equality in a way that perhaps wasn't as salient previously. And we want to give you a couple of examples. These are women who spoke with Axios. One is Mary Claire Barr, who cited Trump's threats to dismantle the Department of Education, the possibility of increased reproductive health restrictions, and warnings from economists about how Trump's proposed policies could affect the cost of living. She goes on to say, we might change our mind eventually, but as of right now, we just don't foresee us being able to ethically have another child until we know that we would be able to provide for them. And so, look, I don't like people just blanket throwing around, just do it anyway. That's like Elon Musk. I personally think times are likely to get harder under Trump in all the areas that Mary is talking about there. I think that she's 100% right. And I love when people get it. And she does seem to get it. I also think times are tough now. So, it's only a little bit worse. Maybe we'll see. I understand the concerns. And I think that there are a lot of people who are questioning this. I also think that, once we get a few more months past, some of the shock might wear off. But I don't like either the reality or at least just the impression that people have that their life should not be what they wanted it to be because of Donald Trump. And I get why people think that. I don't want that. I hope that we can find a way to move past that and people get to live the lives they deserve. But we have other examples and we'll get to them, Sharon. But I'm curious what you think about this and about women, being worried about what Trump could bring.
I think that if the women continue to worry out loud, some of them, or if their determination grows louder, that will become at least, I know we're working towards a dictatorship, but we'll become like countries like China that now has moved away from the one-child policy and encourages marriage because of declining birth rates. They encourage children. Singapore gives you cash bonuses and housings if you have multiple children. This is what Donald Trump and like-minded people will begin to contemplate because, of course, there is the great replacement theory. And so they want to make sure that these birth rates, certain communities, stay up, okay? And so, yeah, I can understand it as a woman. I'm done, but this would be scary.
Yeah, it would definitely be scary. Look, Trump getting elected is one thing, and the possibility that they'll just ban abortion nationwide, which he says he wouldn't do, and his word is his bond. But anyway, but also everything's been like all the stories we talked about of like women in Texas they need reproductive care, they can't get it, they die. That was already the case. Now, we can have a debate about how likely a person is to end in that position. And obviously it's very unlikely, but you can't say that it doesn't happen. It does because it did. It's happened in multiple states. It's happened to a number of women. They literally died as a result of the change to that law. They'd be alive now, they're not alive now, thanks to that. And so can you really say to a person who's like, well, I don't know what might come. You could get pregnant now, and abortion could be banned in 2 months. It could be banned in California in 2 months. I don't think that's likely to happen, but it could happen. I think people might be a little bit more scared than maybe they should be, but it's not like they shouldn't be scared. We are entering into scary times. And as you pointed out, it's the right wing that's freaking out about birth rates and everything. You guys are doing this. You're the ones that make people not want to have kids, both because of fear about reproductive health and also because they literally don't want to sleep with you. You are the ones making them less likely to reproduce, okay? And so, like, again, the way to get people to have more kids is not that complex. Give them faith in the future, a feeling of security, economic security, a belief that it will work out, that they'll be able to afford it. They could do this anytime on the right if they wanted to. Those are not the policies they're advocating for. And so I just want to mention one last thing that's getting a lot of strike back. So we talked about, women making TikTok videos about like the 4B movement, I think it was called, about the Korean movement to not date, not reproduce and all that. And so now some people are getting mad that some women are going on sex strikes or shaving their head. And I think a lot of it is just the right wing trying to get people mad at women rather than at the cause of their concern. Man, look, I'm not gonna shave my head or whatever. I guess I kind of did a couple weeks ago. But if you want to shave your head, shave your damn head, okay? We are all less free than we used to be in America, but we're still free to do that. If you want to shave your head, if that makes you feel better, if you want to not have sex with someone, you do that. And if it bothers them, let them cry about it. Anyway, any other thoughts about women or any of that before we move to our last story?
No, just that, when we're thinking about white women who voted in some pretty overwhelming numbers for Donald Trump, and everyone thought, well, abortion and their womb and this and that. A friend reminded me that, much more disproportionately, I should say, certain segments of the population are still going to be able to get the health care that they want. To the poor, to brown people, to others who continue to have, and quite frankly, the mortality rates, okay, when women are trying to have a baby here in Georgia and other southern states are off the charts. And that means for a community of people who look like me. But there's other women who are in a more privileged club who will still be able to get some services. And I'm not saying that they're not at risk, but I do think we have to consider that. So as they
Yeah.
voted, we'll see if how this plays out and if anything changes.
Members make a difference here at TYT. You help make the show happen, and we see you in the chat with your loyalty badge. Click the join button to become a member today.